I've got the original Secret Lab Omega and the Secret Lab Omega 2020 side by side. And while they look nearly identical, there are actually 8 major updates that Secret Lab has made to the new version of the Omega chair. The first one being the price. When we originally bought the Secret Lab Omega, it was $329. The updated price on the new 2020 version is $359. The next major difference that we're gonna see in the updated version is with the foam. The original Secret Lab Omega had one of the hardest seats and backrests that we have ever tested, and it looks like Secret Lab got quite a bit of feedback on this because they did update the seat and back, and they are a bit softer now. I would still consider them both to be pretty firm on the grand scale of soft to firm chairs, but definitely softer than the previous model. Another update that they made is the pillow for your head is now featuring memory foam instead of the standard foam that they had in there before. Secret Lab also decided to make an upgrade to the casters, with the original wheels on the Omega featuring a small hooded design, and the new Omega 2020 features larger casters that should function better, and in my opinion, they look nicer compared to the old model. The seat height is another area where we see a slight difference from the original to the 2020 model. I did read some complaints on the previous Omega that it was a bit too short for some people, and it looks like Secret Lab attempted to correct that with their updated version because the seat height is about 1 inch taller on the low and high end, so the original chair went about 17.5 to 21.5 inches, depending on where you measure from, whereas the new chair moves from about 18.5 to 22.5 inches. The Omega 2020 also received an updated look in some areas as compared to the original design. You'll notice that all of the levers look different, and the plastic pieces on the sides of the chair that connect the backrest and the seat are also different in appearance on the newest version, just a more updated design. There was also a change to the side covers. Not only do they look different, but Secret Lab decided to go with a new design entirely in this area, and this is one of my favorite changes on the entire chair. Instead of having a screw system to cover up the bracket that connects the seat to the backrest, they decided to go with a magnetic design. Now, this is one of the biggest problem areas for most gaming chairs because the screw-in design can oftentimes come loose, break, doesn't connect properly, whereas this magnetic design seems to have solved a lot of those issues. Another difference between the original Omega and the newly designed 2020 is the space in between the backrest and the seat. Now, I do not know if this was intentional, but I feel like it had to be just because the previous chair had a different shape for the seat in the back as compared to the new one, and the new one really allows for a good amount of space in between there, and I think that this solves the issue with stuff just getting trapped in between the seat and the backrest, making it difficult to clean. Now that you have a nice open area, it should make it easy to vacuum or wipe that area out. The armrests on the 2020 version did receive quite a few updates, the first just being the overall look of the frame itself, kind of going along with the updated plastic components that we touched on previously, but they do function a little bit differently. You are going to lose about 1 inch of adjustment with the new version on the high end of the height range. So they just go a little bit shorter than the previous version, but you do gain a pivot adjustment on the 2020 arms, which you did not have on the previous Omega. Another change is the caps themselves. They have a little bit less texture, so they're smoother to the touch and they're softer, and this is very noticeable on the edges of the arms because the previous Omega did have pretty hard edges that you could feel when you had your arm sideways. The new Omega solves that problem. And the final difference we're going to look at between the original Omega and the 2020 version is going to be the moisture resistance in the upholstery. Secret Lab has talked a lot about this, both in their literature and in videos, and I was really curious how this would perform, and I must say that I am actually pretty impressed just because the old Omega did a really poor job of just showing fingerprints. So simply touching the chair, your fingerprints would be on the chair until you found something to wipe them off. Otherwise, you'd easily be able to see them, whereas touching the new Omega's upholstery, fingerprints go away within a few seconds, so much better design in my opinion with the upholstery, and should be great for those of you that get a little bit hot and sweaty in your chair. Thanks a lot for watching the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit us with a like, and if you want to see us review the Secret Lab Titan 2022, make sure to hit subscribe.